FlossTube. It is November 6th. This is Geraldine, Jer X Stitches. It's my second episode and I'm here. Let's talk. So it hasn't been super long since my first episode, but I had an exciting trip on Friday that I wanted to share with everyone. I have like a giant pile of haul that I want to put away. So, and a decent amount of stitching that I've been able to do. So I thought I would hop on, say hello, chat a little bit, and then maybe put away my haul, get back to stitching. We'll see. So, all right, first, I have an FFO. I showed this on my last episode. This is Ceramic Tree. It's a Mill Hill kit, and I finally finished it. I got my Aleene's glue just to put the felt on the back, and then I just put my initials and the month and year that I finished it. So yeah, pretty simple. I have to decide if I want to put the magnet on it or what I want to do. There is like a little bit of room here. If I either need to reinforce that or decide I want to put a hanger on it, I can do that. So yeah, it's my FFO. Pretty excited. I really have enjoyed these kits more than I expected to, really, honestly. Did not think beading would be my thing. So yeah. So I wrote myself a list of things that I wanted to chat about and then just went right into FFOs and totally forgot the rest of my intro. So I realized after I filmed last time that I didn't really introduce a ton about myself, so I thought I should probably do that. I live in West Michigan, in the Lower Peninsula, about a half an hour or so from Lake Michigan. We have pretty great weather in the summer. It's warm and there's a beach, and it's almost like going to the ocean. And in the winter it stays fairly mild here. We do get snow and cold, but it's not as cold as the further east of the state because the lake keeps us a little bit warm. But we do get quite a bit more snow typically than some other areas of Michigan, just because that lake affects snow. We're kind of right on that line where we get a decent amount of snow sometimes. So we've had a few years where we haven't gotten a ton, so I'm kind of ready for like a real winter this year, maybe. We'll see. I am a wife and a mom. I have a dog and a cat, and I am a nurse. And so I have a full-time job that I go to. I have a background in critical care, and then I'm actually an advanced practice nurse. The type of advanced practice nurse that I am is called a CNS, a clinical nurse specialist. And so sort of like a nurse practitioner, but I focus more on policies and procedures and helping us make sure that from a patient, nurse, and system level, we have all of the safe processes in place, that we're making sure that we're providing the highest quality, safest care that we can for our patients. So there's quite a few of us in my organization, which is really great. We collaborate a lot on all the things. So I focus on critical care specifically. What else should I tell you? I've been crafting like forever. I was super excited. I had one comment so far on my very first video. I understand it's probably going to take some time to get some visibility. So thank you for leaving that comment. And now I'm blanking on what the question was. Does my mom cross stitch? So my mom cross stitched a long time ago. That one project, it's a really sad story. So my mom grew up in Canada, and their homestead, my cousin and uncle still farm. And in the 80s, there was an aerial picture taken of the homestead and farm, and my mom had a friend make it into a cross stitch pattern that she was working on, and I can remember her, us going places, and she would take it with, and she had I don't know, for those of you who are old enough to remember, we had Piece Goods in Virginia. It's like our fabric store, craft store, and they had those, I can't remember if hers was one of the cardboard ones with the hand, like the metal handle, or if it was like the one that was made out of like light balsamy wood, like the woven baskets, and she like had made like a special insert for it, and she would like with fabric insert to protect the things inside the basket, and she would carry that around with all of her floss and the pattern and her stitching. Well, at some point she lost the pattern, and it was a hand charted pattern, like on pieces of graph paper that were like taped together, that my godfather had created for her. So it was gone, and she hoped she would find it, and she never did. I think she might even still have the stitching. And I've been thinking about like getting a picture and finding a way to have it turned into a kit so that I could make it for her. It's just full coverage is quite daunting for me. Like I don't know. So that's kind of my first exposure to cross stitch. I worked on a few pieces. I don't know that I have them. It was mostly just kind of messing around while she was stitching. I do have one piece of embroidery. I have no idea where it is, that I got as a kit for Christmas, like around the same age, probably 8 or so, that I did finish. So that was kind of my, first foray with cross stitching. But then I dabbled a little bit because I like to do lots of different crafts, and then have really been like cross stitching for a year now. So I love to quilt. I'm enjoying how quilting and sewing and cross stitch meet, right? So making bags, making different things. I have something to show in a little bit that I worked on this morning that I'm pretty excited about. So I like kind of being able to like do things for cross stitch that's also still a little bit sewing. So yeah, you can see a few quilts here, over here. Those are some quilts that Susie's Sunbonnet quilt is the first quilt I ever made. I did that in home ec to like an extra, like not the standard home ec, but like as an elective, I did a home ec sewing class in 10th grade. And so one of the projects was a quilt, and of course, everyone made like this little tiny quilt, and I was like, I'm making this giant thing, which actually, like, it's not even, it's like as wide as my lap. It's like, doesn't like wrap at all, but it was a really great first experience quilting, and I was hooked from then on. So yeah. So that's me. I'm sure we'll get to know each other better as time goes on. All right, let's talk about finishes. So I do have one finish. Again, it's a small or a mini, probably even it would be categorized, and it is one of my birthday starts. It's the first birthday start. I started it last Saturday, and over the course of 2 or 3 evenings I was able to get all the stitching in, and then I saved it until after my birthday, and I finished all the beading yesterday. So that one is completely done. Whoop. It's super cute. I enjoyed this one as well. So the first Mill Hill I did, the Christmas tree, like the mini beads, you're supposed to go through twice so that they stand straight. I kind of liked them matching the other, like I felt like they fit in the squares better when they like tipped like how they were supposed to. So I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you always double cross your petite beads when you Mill Hill? Or I tried, like I saw someone did like the where you go through once and then you, instead of going through for the other leg, you like go around the bead and try to secure it. I did that. I didn't love it for this piece specifically. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Any tips and tricks with your petite, especially your Mill Hill beads. I did order some beading needles on Amazon this morning because I was frustrated trying to thread 2 strands through the beading needles that come in the Mill Hill kit. So also, if you have a good brand of beading needles that you like that are easy to thread, let me know, or any tips for that. I don't have one of like the little cheap, I don't know, they're cheap because like they come in like all the other kits that I've had in the past, but I don't have any of the ones with like just the wire threader. I just have like the ones that are like a solid piece of metal with a hook that you push through the eye. I can get it through the eye, but it's too thick with both the thread and the eye to get it back through. So let me know if you've got any good tips and tricks with Mill Hill kits. I did look on YouTube a little bit when I was doing my Mill Hill kits, the first one especially, and people were doing kits, they were talking kind of about their process, but I didn't really catch any good tricks for beading, so let me know. So yeah, I just have to decide with this one what color back of felt I want. The felt that I showed last week that I got from Amazon was all like Christmassy colors, but there is like a light yellow maybe, so I have to decide if I want to get like a different pack or if like one of those colors will work. So that is where I'm at. Okay, whips, maybe new starts. I have to think about when I filmed. I think I do have new starts as well, so I think that I showed as like a getting ready last time. So now I'm not prepared because I'm trying to remember like what order I started things in. I'm gonna guess this one. Okay, so this bag is the bag I showed last week that I love, love, love with these vintage ornaments, and it's like that super soft, fancy like quilting cotton. So yeah, and I made a little extras pouch with it. And this is my, I have it sitting here, Christmas Eve by Cottage Garden Samplings. I saw this pattern like last winter and I had to have it. Like I fell in love with it primarily because we talked about this last week, these two colors, this like tealy green and this like raspberry red. And so I've been struggling a little bit with those. So on my trip that I took on Friday, I went to a cross stitch store. They had Rose Garden, and it looked, and I don't know if this is quite giving you the right color, but it looked different than the Rose Garden that I had gotten. So if I hold them both together, maybe with some, with some white on the background. I don't know if you can tell. Like this one is lighter, this one is a little bit darker. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna grab that. Like maybe that'll work. But then today when I was looking, like I think I'm gonna stick with this like lighter pink color. Not lighter, but the lighter of the two, the brighter of the two. So it's amazing how different dye lots are. And then the green the dye lot of the green that I have that was called for Bayberry is pretty like lightish green, and it's not like that tealy bright green. So I'd been playing around with a few ideas. This is a anchor that I was thinking about, but I felt like it was a little too bright, maybe a little too dark or saturated. Is that the right color? I think it's, how do you read these? Is the number 1076 or 4735? I don't know, because this is like the only anchor I've ever picked up. So I wasn't paying attention to color. I was just looking for color, not necessarily number. So I think I'm going to toss that. And I actually, while I was at that store looking, I found this color. This is Piney by Gast. And if you do it with the pink or the reddish color, I think those will work well together. So that's kind of what I'm thinking now. So that's been my color conundrum. I think I just need to marry something. So I think we're engaged. We'll see once I get it on the fabric. I like to outline and then fill in when there's big chunks of color. And so this is my start. Again, I stitch in hand, so my fabric is messy. Okay, sorry. There we go. My counting is wrong. This did not end up right. I did it like 3 times. I can't figure, like this is right. I can't figure out why like this should be touching this outline here. So I've decided that I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave the deer because they're right, and then like redo this somehow, pull out what I need to and redo this outline, or maybe get the rest of the deer in and then do the outline once I have like better landmarks. I've like counted and looked at the pattern like 5 or 6 times and I can't find my mistake. So but I know because it's like that is his cloak, so I know if this isn't right, it's going to be off on the rest of the, it's going to influence a lot of different things, especially because there's like these 2 color, like I think it's going to mess up this counting for the colors. So I don't know what I'm going to do there, but that is on my plans for the rest of the day once I finish something that I feel like I'm close. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, but I think I have a almost finished to show you next. So that was Christmas Eve. It was start 2 of my 4 birthday starts for 40. So that one is there. And then, oh, this one I think was my next one. Actually, I think I went out of order. I think I started Christmas Eve after this whip. So this is in an Evertote bag with the vintage spools. And it is I Am No Bird. So that is the Modern Folk Embroidery Jane Eyre piece. Again, I have had this kitted forever. Have been waiting to start it. And I finally had the opportunity to for Black Sampler November. And then Jacob, you know, came out with a million other like black samplers that are all gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I was like, I want to stitch this one, but I want to stitch all the other ones. And there's not enough time in the day or the month to do it. So they will, I'm sure, get done. But this is how far I was able to get all the way around and my borders matched the first time. So you can see that I'm mostly stitched with over dyed. So I complete my X's and then I left like every 9, I skipped one so that I had 10 just to make sure that my counting was good. So I'll go back when I fit, there's 2 borders, you can see here on this right here. So there's like 2 solid borders on the edge. So when I go back to do the inside border, I'll fill in the missing stitches on there as well. So I've got like that first bottom left corner. Is that bottom left? It's bottom right when I look at it, sorry. Bottom right corner, I stitch right to left because I do use the sewing method. And so I have that little corner done. I started the border, and then I wanted to do this little, like, it's adorable, this little motif right here is working on the date, because if I come up from the 7, I can start the house. And so I want to outline the house and get that going so that, again, I can pick up and when I want to or have the time or the availability to count and look at the pattern, I can keep working. But when I can only stitch and I can't count or pay attention to the pattern, I have fill-in to do. And the border will be good for that as well. So that is kind of how I tackle my projects. I feel like sometimes like figuring out how to attack it is like a part of all of it, right? It's part of the fun. Like, what is the most, I don't know, my brain is very like, what's the most efficient, like what makes the most sense kind of thing. So I am stitching this with Leo and Roxy charcoal. It's a beautiful floss, and on Hogbristle by Fox and Rabbit, which is also just an amazing, gorgeous. I was actually watching, they did a video with Garan Stitchery, yes, well I watched it yesterday, I don't know when it was released, but it was in the last few days, and they said that Hogbristle, did they say that, was it Hogbristle? That was, it's like not an Australian animal, how did it happen? And so someone in the States that they had made this for named it Hogbristle. So if you, apparently if you commission a color, you get to name it. So FYI. So that was really interesting and fun to learn about that. Was there anything more I wanted to say about this one? Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So I have used a little bit of DMC in the last year, and at some point I'll be able to show you kind of like a finishes parade, because I don't know that many. I've only been stitching a year. So I'll be able to do a finishes parade. I've mostly stitched with Leo and Roxy. I have done some projects with Gentle Arts, like a mixture of Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks, and then some just DMC, kind of starting to do a few more projects that have DMC. What I've noticed, and maybe it's just me, but I have a tougher time with my Gentle Arts thread shredding. Because I'm an efficient stitcher, in my head it's probably not actually more efficient because I'm pulling longer strands, but I like long pieces of floss when I stitch, and so I don't think that the Gentle Art wears as well as the Leo and Roxy. Like, this stuff does not shred on me, and I frog because I'm a new stitcher, so I frog a decent amount, and when I pull the thread out, it's usually pretty good to me. So that's a shameless plug for Leo and Roxy. Like, it's awesome floss to work with. Okay, so that was start 2 for 40. The one I showed you previously was start 3, And then my last start is my hopefully almost finished. So this bag I made myself last Christmas when I was just getting into Christmas, or just getting into stitching. I was actually wanting to do an advent calendar or advent stitch that really kind of got me into cross stitch, and so it was all downhill from there. But I loved this fabric, and then it's just a, you know, a flat front case, and the inside has just like these, oh, that lighting is really bad. There's words in there like merry, like holiday words. Okay, so this next project is Noel. It was a kit that I got at a needlework shop I went to by Lizzie Kate. So it's got like all the things for finishing in the back. And this is my progress. As you can see, we'll talk about why I'm stitching it in a Q-snap. I'm not happy about it. So this kit came with this like rustic linen. Is that what it's called? Raw linen. And it doesn't say what count it is. I'm guessing it's a 28 because you have to get a stitch over 2 or 2 over 2. Like, I don't love it. It's really not conducive to the sewing method. It's stiff. It's got like a lot of, I think, sizing in it. I just like it. It's not great. It's easier to count and work with it and to see in the Q-snap. So it's in the Q-snap. I was too lazy to actually get out my stand so I can two-handed stitch because I'm like, it's like a little project. It'll be done in no time. But I'm a little bit annoyed. I actually got, where did I start? I started here. So I got like half of this green O, it's supposed to be an O, this green O in, and then I like came upstairs and dug through all my linen and Ada, and I didn't have anything that would work that was 28 count. My 28 count wasn't the right color, and because it came like with, so that it can look like this, right, like the green and the fabric, I was afraid to figure 2 off of like a neutral back. So I huffed and went back downstairs and stitched a little bit more. It got a little bit easier. And then yesterday I added the Q-snap, and it helped a ton. It actually, I think it helped my speed. Even though I wasn't stitching as quickly, I was able to see where I needed to go faster, and so I was able to move my needle faster. So so there's like a flower here and a flower here. The rest of this flower, I think there's a flower pot to finish. And then these, I missed the insides of these, so I have to do like 1 white stitch in each of these, and then these 3 are repeated down here. So I maybe got like an hour or 2 left in this, and then I'll be finished. So it's cute, it's fun. I would do it again, probably not on this rustic linen. So I was afraid doing a smaller, like I have smaller, bigger count, smaller size, but I was afraid that the pillow wouldn't be very big then. So, I don't know. And then I have to decide what I want to stuff it with. I have a ton of stuffing. I've also thought about buying some walnut shells, crushed walnut, because quite a few floss tubers say that it just really gives the pillows a nice weight. And Colorado Cross Stitcher said today, well, again, I watched it today, on her video this week, she said that the lizard litter apparently is just crushed walnut, so that makes them a little bit more affordable than buying it like from a, like the stuff that's branded as crushed walnut. So I'm thinking about getting some of that as I do some of these smaller pieces. Those would be fun to finish that way. So yeah, so my plan is today to finish this guy and then get started on or get back going on Christmas Eve. Here's the colors. There's like 3 greens and 3 reds, so that makes this kind of fun. And I was looking at this, these are all DMC. I was looking at this palette, and I have some patterns that I picked up that I will show in haul, and I was like, I think I can just keep using these. The one modification I do think I'm going to make now that I see the black is some of the insides of, where did my pattern or my cover picture go? Some of the insides are black. I don't love that, so I think that I'm gonna go with gold instead, or something else. I don't, the black just feels out of place. It's only in those few places, so I think I'm gonna ditch the 310 and find some other color to do with those. So hopefully those will be a finish the next time. That's mostly what I've been touching. I've been working pretty hard on those whips and really trying to focus on my black sampler November. Yeah. All right. Okay, so the real reason, well, I mean, I'm here because I wanted to show you my stitching, but like the real reason I'm here is because I don't remember if I talked about this last time. I took a road trip to London to go to the Evertote's open house on Friday. So I left my house about 8 o'clock in the morning, stopped for gas, dropped off my absentee ballot, shameless plug, make sure that you vote, look up how you can register if you're not registered to vote. I'm not going to get into the politics or any of those things, but please, 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 please vote. That's all I'm going to say. And so we got that turned in, and then on the road I went. It was actually a pretty easy drive. It's pretty much a straight shot. And so I got into London a little before noon, I think it was. And I went to Stitch It Central, and checked that out. They are a combination. They have I was actually pretty overwhelmed by the number of patterns that they had. They had a lot of selection. They had like walls with like sliding, like the walls that are like, 2 or 3 walls deep that, can slide, and you can see all the different kinds of threads and silks. They had Karen water lilies. They had Dinky dyes, Classic Colorworks Gast. What are the ones that come on the little cards? They had those. I think they do have some like straight up needlework as well. But the patterns were like, it was like a very small part of the store, because then they have like fabric, and I think they like do sewing machine repair, like they kind of do it all. So like the patterns were packed in pretty tight, and I couldn't quite catch their organization style. So I was quite a bit overwhelmed, and also like not sure what I was going to find at Evertote's and anxious for that. And so I spent a little bit of time running through that, but and found a few things, but not a lot there. And then I went and grabbed lunch quick and went to the Evertote's workshop. Intellectually, like, I know that floss tubers are like real people, right? Like, we're all real people, and like I know that, I don't know how to describe it, so I don't want to say it wrong, but like, I expected the people that I met to be super nice. I didn't expect the welcome and just the fellowship, I guess, of other stitchers that was there. It was such a really great, I walked in, everyone introduced themselves right away. Like, Caroline has an amazing staff. Carrie of Leo and Roxy was there, of course. Ellen was there. It was just a really great experience. Everyone, it was crazy. You could tell they had been working hard to get everything ready, and then like all of the people showed up and all, wanted time with them and to, to talk and chat and find the things that they were looking for, and they just knocked it out of the park. They did such a great job. I had a lot of fun just looking and taking it all in, finding all of the things that I probably shouldn't have bought that I did buy, that I'll show you, and it was just really great. I met Ellen. She swears we've met before, so we've decided that we met in another life. She was great. She had just gotten her new pattern prints in, and they had floss packs. So I have Ellen's new pattern. She signed it for me. I'm super excited to start it. The message is like in the background behind it, like, just, it speaks volumes, especially for this time of year. So I loved that. They had Park Hopper Bart's release collaboration for Christmas, and so I had to snag that. And so I ran around. It was really great. They had like their little stitching area with the patterns and like flosses on like the twirly floss holder things. Hannah's amazing, by the way. Like, I was like, Hannah, I need, and she was like, this is the floss you need, and she went and grabbed it. She knew exactly where it was. Like, she's a genius. Matt was bending over backwards to help me and other people find the things that they were needed to find. It was just awesome. So I looked around, and then Caroline, I don't even know how it happened, but Caroline had a second, and she was like, "Can I show you my linen?" And I was like, "What?" Like, yeah. And so she took me in the linen room, and she's like, "What do you stitch on?" And so we talked about, like, I like 36, 40, 46, the higher counts, because I'm lazy and I don't like to use 2 strands of floss. And she showed me what she had, and she explained why, some of the newer colors, they didn't have 40, because it's so hard to get it, that Carrie wants to make sure she gets the dyes right before she actually dyes the 40, which totally makes a ton of sense. But it was like she picked me out my own personal linen, and it was amazing. Super down to earth, just warm, friendly. It was amazing. So I left with way more than I should have. I'm like looking over because I have all my stuff here. And so, like, I parked right outside the shop, and so I was there for about an hour, and it was kind of warm in there, and I didn't want to be in other people's way, and I knew I had a big drive back, and so I said goodbye, and went and sat in the car, and just, like, had to take a second, and I texted my husband, and I said that was well worth the 4-hour drive. It was more than I could have ever expected, but also not enough, meaning, like, the time there was short, and I could have probably spent all weekend there. But there were other things. I needed to get home, start the weekend, all of those things. But it was just awesome, and it made me so excited for Stitch North and Jacopalooza next year, which I'm going to both, barring any major life events. So I'm just really excited. It was great. Like, that's the first time I've really been around a bunch of other stitchers, and with everyone just so friendly and welcoming, and so excited that I was there and to meet me and to share all of the pretty things that it was just awesome. They had a bunch of samples. Oh my gosh, what is the word? Those things that are like stitched copies of the patterns. Why can't I think of the word? A ton of them, and it was just really cool to see the stitching in person. The stitching that Caroline has showed over the year that I've been watching. Ellen had some of her finishes there. It was just really cool. I did not take any pictures, and I kind of sort of kicked myself, but like while I was there, I was just so in the zone and like enjoying the time there. Like, I have all of the pictures in my mind, and that to me is more important. So I went to Iceland in the beginning of October, which is like a whole other thing, sort of side trail, but I'll get there. We went on a glacier, and this young guy who was our tour guide from Moldova, Simeon, he kept saying to the people on the tour, take the pictures with your brain or with your eyes. Like, take the pictures with your eyes, because in this day and age as tourists, it's all about getting the picture, getting the selfie, taking a photo, having the memory forever, that you forget to experience it like while you're there through your own eyes and not through the lens of your camera. And so I didn't intentionally end up doing that, but I was just in the moment so much. I didn't have the urge to take out my camera and take pictures, because I just enjoyed all of it, every second. And I was sad when I left, but I know that I'll be back. So that was Evertote's. It was amazing. I went to Costco. I thought Costco in my city was crazy on a Friday night. It was nuts in Costco. The line was so long. I went there specifically looking for tart shells. So I think I mentioned earlier that my mom grew up on a farm in southern Canada, in Saskatchewan. One of the things that my grandma made and my mom now makes and I've made are butter tarts, and apparently they're like a Canadian thing. So I went to Costco looking for tart shells because my aunt gets tart shells back home for my mom from Costco in Canada. And so I hunted the frozen food aisle. I didn't find anything. I was pretty sad about that, but not sad that I didn't have to stand in the super long line to check out. But the bakery had butter tarts, tart shells with butter and raisins and all the goodness in them, like ready to go. I didn't get them again because I wanted to make my own, but I was like, how is it that we can't even get tart shells in the States and the Canadians can have butter tarts without even having to make them? Like, this is a travesty. We need to fix this. So if you know, you know. Butter tarts are amazing. So I did not get any tart shells, but it did slow me down a little bit. I got home right around 8. Crossing the border, everything like that went super well. Yeah. That was my trip. It was awesome. It was worth every mile that I drove. So I think the next thing on my list is haul. My birthday was this week. I got very, very spoiled. Lots of awesome things. A couple things that I will show you because they're stitching adjacent. My boss, she's so adorable. She got me this embroidery kit because people who don't cross stitch don't understand the difference, but I don't care. I love it and I'm gonna do it and it's amazing. I also like to do embroidery. So it's a really cute pattern. She got me the hoop to go with it. How adorable. This kit, you guys, like, it's Cherish and it has I don't want to speculate if it's Japanese or Chinese or what, but it has some lettering on it. It has this really beautiful chart with directions on the back and all the colors. But my friends, look at this floss card. Like this, they did such a great job. Look at this. This came like this. All ready to go. All the colors are sorted. They're on this cute little floss card, all pretty. How awesome. So when I opened it and saw like how well the kit was put together, I was very impressed. A couple embroidery needles and then the printed fabric. So I am excited to do this. I definitely I fluctuate between like enjoying the process stitching and like wanting to get stuff done stitching. Embroidery is not like wanting to get stuff done stitching. I did an embroidery advent last year for my first time. It looks really great. It's not the best. So part of me like wants to save this until I get better, but I won't get better unless I do stuff right. So that's definitely gonna go in the stash pile on the list of things. The other stitching adjacent thing that I got for my birthday, I'm super excited. It was on my Amazon wish list. It is, I think it's a Kodak Step Zink printer thing. So you load the sticker paper in the top, you connect with Bluetooth to your phone, and it spits out little sticker photos. Super fun. I tried one out, a picture of my dog and my cat, that turned out really well. And my plan for scrapbooking with this is to use my book of days to take picture of my finishes or grab the ones from Instagram of my finishes and then put them in my book of days so that each year I'll go back and have like pictures of all the finishes I did that year. So I got to catch up for 2022 now that I have my printer, and then I can do that like ongoing for 2023. So I'm super excited about that. I'm gonna burn over my bin of stuff. So before I left since I filmed last, I had ordered some bags plus, what are these called? These are like the flips, I think. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 pocket ones. So like a Christmassy one, and then like just a fun one. I think she had a sale, and it's nice, it has like the pocket. So if you were doing a small or a mini, like you could totes like put your project in here, everything's in here, you'd be good. Especially because I stitch in hand, right? So I don't need the room for the frame or the hoop or whatever. These are a little bit smaller than I was expecting. I thought maybe like the Leo and Roxy cards would fit, like the handmade ones that I've done and seen, but they like fit. This is the Gentle Arts, but they fit this way. They don't fit this way. So I was kind of expecting, I don't really like to use bobbins because I don't like the I like to use really long pieces of floss, right? And the lines in them make it difficult. So maybe I could use it like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But they're well made. They're super cute. They're just legit made for bobbins. Now you know. And then this bigger one I got with the pocket. So I need to, I'm behind the game. I need to start the is it winter that's out or fall? The first Gilmore Girls, I have that pattern. I have all the DMC for it. Well, no, it's a combination. I did DMC, and then like I got the forbidden fiber conversions because I don't love using the floss that it is charted for to be. So anyways, I wanted to get something like this because I have the Adam Hart bobbin floss drop. So they're shaped like a bobbin, but they have the hole on them like a floss drop, and so I was hoping I could like floss drop it and then loosely wrap the yarn around and tuck them in here because there's quite a few colors. So I'll have to see if these will be big enough for that or if I'll have to make my own. I don't mind making my own. It's the binding and cutting the vinyl. Like that's my least favorite part. I might have to just suck it up. But they're super cute. They're fun. I like how this one folds and it's got like this big pocket. Again, you could put stitch and handers could put your whole project in here if you wanted. So those are pretty fun. They came all the way from England just for me, which is awesome. Okay. I don't even, like, there's just so much in here. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so they had this chart at Evertote. This is Matter's Choice Carriage House Samplings. It is gorgeous in person stitched. So there's like this smaller version you can do, or you can do the full sized. Ellen did hers in like darkest sage, and it looks black until you look really close. It's gorge. It is 155 by 151, so not like crazy huge. There's a lot of stitching, but like I wouldn't say it's super dense. I don't know. I'm not like a super great judge yet of like how much work is actually there, but super cute. It's going on my list. Not kitted yet, just the pattern. They had some of their Floss Club extras. This is the pack. I think I referenced it last time. August Brights, that like it came and I was like, I'm not taking it out of the bag. Like it needs to be stitched together with something. So I got another set in case the thing that I want to use it to stitch with requires more than one of the colors, because these are like limited runs unless there's a color that they decide to keep. So they're super fun. I love the Floss Club. So I grabbed another one so I'd have extras. Since we're on extras, we'll do extras. So I had to grab some of the classics. So I grabbed 3 skeins of the charcoal, 3 more skeins of Chalkboard. So I have never had, or I don't think I have a kit with charcoal. Maybe I do and I missed it. But so I wanted to have both colors. I have ideas for these. We'll talk about that. And then I grabbed a few skeins of Falu Red because, you know, someday I want to do a red sampler and I just wanted to have some Falu Red on hand. So when I don't drive 4.5 hours one way to Evertote, it takes about a week for my shipments to come, which is fine. I get that it's international, but I am not a very patient person. So I like having a stash so I can at least get going on something or kind of, you know, play with what I'm trying to do, like with the idea that's in my head, I should say. Okay, so one of the things that was on my list was Feast of Friendship. I did not get this here. This is a pattern that I had. Someone was stitching it. I saw it on Instagram. I saw the blue house. I had to have it. I don't know, I shouldn't say that it's crazy. The not for me thing about this pattern is there are 3 colors of blue on that house. Like, what? No, like, it's beautiful. So depending on how it's stitched, or like what dye lots people have gotten, it's all one color. It looks all one color in the pictures, or you can really tell that they're different, and the really tell that they're different I don't love as much personally as the all the same. So needless to say, I decided I wanted the blue to all be one color, and then I wanted to do a Leo and Roxy conversion. So I had the colors from like Floss Clubs and Stash, and like when there was a floss sale a few months ago at Evertote, I did like the 25-gram bag business, and so like I don't even know where all those colors came from. So I'm doing my so I took my colors, and then I had I had picked Planetarium, and I think I've already put it away, but Planetarium's like a straight up like dark blue, and it probably would work. Wasn't quite right, and this is where I was talking about with the genius of Hannah. So I had I showed her the picture, I told her I was looking for blue for the house, and then I said, and there's these 3 other colors which I brought with me in DMC. I have them close by, but it's not necessary. So I had them in DMC, I'm like, and then I need these 3. So she took one look at the picture, guys, and she pulled and I think I actually have this color, which is funny, but I might have thrown it in another kit for some other stash that I've kitted. I'm sorry, just to make sure I can get some of that natural light from the window there. Caspian, it's like perfect. It's the perfect match. And she took one look at it and she knew, and she's like, if you want it darker, I've got like, no, I don't remember. Seize the Day is one of them. Like there's 2 others that are darker of the same tone. So yeah, Hannah, you did awesome. So that was like easy right out of the gate. And then there were 3 other colors I needed. She took one look at the DMC for this color, and she's like, oh, I have that. She pulled it out. It was an almost exact match, but of course nicer because it's over dyed. So this is Bird's the Word. It's like a limey yellow chartreuse color. I would call that chartreuse. And then there's this like one tiny, where is it? One tiny little, like, I don't even know, pomegranate or something. So we looked at a couple pinks. I picked this one, and then I needed one of the, I think it's like some of the pumpkin, and like these are different color, like patchwork roof orange. So this is like the medium orange color that I didn't have for the patchwork. So let's see. And, you know, and depending on when I start this and how this all works out, I'll be sure to like share my conversion. So the house, there's the blues with them. I think, what color is this? Pippi is what I picked for like the red for the shutters. Nope, not shutters. The window casings. What are those called? Words. I know they have a name. I know what the name is. It's just not coming to me right now. And then let's see if I can find my oranges quick. So orange. Orange. I don't know if maybe Haystack is the last orange. So I have Anne, Haystack, and Common Currency. Common Currency is like, it wasn't a monthly floss pack. So those 3 colors are like the oranges. I don't think Haystack is in the house though. I think Haystack is in the pineapple. I think the house is actually, like the roof, I should say, is these 3 colors. Come on. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I'm doing a horrible job showing you. Okay, so I'm excited about this one. I love this print. I am like pretty much all in Christmas with the exception of my black sampler, so I don't know when I'll start this. Oh god, it's so beautiful. Like I just can't. I just can't. They're so beautiful. All of them. So maybe I'll start it on Thanksgiving. Kit it up, start it on Thanksgiving, and then maybe once I stitch on Thanksgiving, let it set until after the holidays when I'm sick of Christmas. That can be one that I can start. So I got that all kitted. It's ready to go. I haven't picked the fabric yet, but I have quite a bit of 40 count stash, so I should be good to go. I just need to take my crazy conversion list and like actually, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I need to get it more organized so that when I'm looking at the chart, I know what colors I'm actually stitching, because I'm combining a lot of colors. So I talked about that I'm combining the blue. So like these vines, like they go like these two are the same, and then like about here it stops and it switches colors. They're all colors that are used in here, but they like flip them around, and like again, you can maybe tell, like if you pay really close attention, it's lighter over here and darker over here. Like it's like, that's just not, I love Blackbird and I really probably should trust them, but like I don't understand. I have another Blackbird that I've kitted in my stash, and there's like a million different colors of brown, and I'm like, I can't tell the difference. Like, really? So it makes it kind of hard to convert it, actually. So I decided that there's quite a few colors that are like gonna do some double duty, so I have to like kind of get that all worked out in my head, and then as I go probably adjust as well. So that's those. Moving on to the next thing. So I have Ellen's chart, and like they haven't shared it on Evertotes or like on Instagram or anything, and it's like out and like people got it. Like, so part of me is like I should save it because I don't want to like steal Ellen's thunder, but also how many people really watch my channel at this point? I don't know that it's really, the cat will be out of the bag, and it's gorgeous and I want to show it. So I think maybe I'm going to show it. I won't like read the inside or like talk about it because I think that's for Ellen to do, or for you to get the pattern, but here is her very first design. Ah, it's called There Is Always Room, and it says there is always room at the table in over 1. It's adorable. I love it. You wait till you see the colors. I have to dig through to find them. One moment. Please hold. Oh, it's this. It was funny. She of course was there, right? Because she signed it. And she's, you know, people were looking, what color blue is this? This is really pretty. Sorry, aside. Swirling. Because it's also gorgeous. Where is it? Oh, it's Great Lakes. I think it might be another darker version of that same like Caspian color. Anyways, this is the floss pack. How gorgeous. So Ellen, you know, as people were asking for the floss pack, she was like, I'm sorry it's so many colors, but they're so pretty. You have to stitch all the colors. So she did convert it to DMC, but like, friends, this house, these bricks are ochre. They're all the same color, or they're all the same floss. And that overdyed floss is just gorgeous. Carrie, you're a genius. So are you, Ellen and Caroline. So I'm super excited. And then, so, you know, I kitted out Feast of Friendship, and I'm like, but I want to start this one. Oh. There should be like 24 hours in a day, and then like 10 hours extra for stitching. Can that be a thing? That would be amazing. What's next? I'm trying to like save the best for last. So I had bought the Jeanette Douglas Christmas pillows. So they had the kits. I went through and organized everything. So I bought the kit that came with Dark Sage. I'm lying. I don't even know. It had 3 colors. Lucille. I don't know. It had a red, a green, and the brown. And then I added the Falu red and the other green to like have everything to stitch all the pillows. So they had these they had these in a 6-pack, so two of each of the 3 colors, or just one of the 3 colors, and then I added the other 2 because I stitch over 1, and mostly, and then there's a few DMC, I think, to be able to do all the pillows. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying that this palette is one of the things that it really reminds me of. So this was from that Noel piece. It's like that same Christmas feel with like the varying colors of red and green. So I don't know if I'll get to the pin cushions this year or not, but I wanted to grab those. Because when you're there, why wouldn't you grab all the things? Okay, I'm saving that for last. That I can't show you yet. Saving that for last. Okay. Look at this project bag. It's adorable. I love it, love it, love it. I love this, like, it's like goldy chartreuse color. It's like a dirty gold. It's gorgeous. Pink inside to match the little pink nutcrackers. And this accessory pouch, this color, it's just, I love this like dark teal color. It's my jam. These are so, so cute. And I don't have the PDF, but Bart's pattern for Christmas, Be Merry. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I can't wait to stitch it. I think it will probably be my next Christmas stitch. It's gonna like cut in line for all the other ones. This is the floss pack for it. There's that Bird's the Word. They're all just so gorgeous. And is this ochre? No, Colonel Mustard. This yellow. It's the bomb. It's like Haystack, but like amped up. It's awesome. So I'm just super excited at all the colors. Okay. So I think from what they told me, Bart stitched his, is it a sample? Why is that word leaving my brain right now? He stitched his on another linen, but they dyed one for it. And it's so pretty, you guys. Look at this linen. I think it's showing up a little there, maybe. It's a little bit darker on the screen than what it actually is. It's called Billie Jean. It's like blue jean, gray, with really subtle, like I don't love a lot of modeling, like that ice modeling. It's just like a little bit of modeling. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous that I got the one that goes in my kit. And I got another one because I know like this color is going, it's like, I know it's blue, but it's like a neutral. Like I feel like it's just gonna do all the things. Very versatile. So I am not concerned that I won't find something gorgeous to stitch on it. But I felt like I wouldn't want to use this one if I didn't have a backup, because I know you have to use the things that are beautiful, right? But like also you don't want to use the things that are beautiful because then they're used. So I don't know why I put that back in there. Anyway, so waiting for my PDF copy of Paul's chart and or I'm sorry, Bart's chart, and then I can get going on that once I try and finish something else. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. Okay. So I saved the best for me for last because it has like memory with it, right, or experience with it. So I told you about how Caroline took me into her linen room. This is the quarter yard that we picked out. It's 46 count. I feel like she said this like in her video, but like I'm still learning, gotta hear things a couple times, but this is actually a pretty big cut because 46 count is wider. So a half of a whatever is going to be wider because it's like 50 wide instead of 40 something wide. So it's a pretty good piece, like large piece. I have grage already, and so this is light grage. I wanted both because, you know, like the neutrals are kind of where I tend to go, and so I just wanted to have it in my stash. But then I started doing the math on the way home and thinking about it. You guys, Caroline personally, in the midst of all the crazy, kitted Hibernation day up for me. So here's my chart. I didn't get it there. I had it. But she kitted it for me. And she was amazing about it in the middle of all, like I said, all of the crazy. And so she had the numbers for the number of stitches, so she quick did the math, and she grabbed everything for me, and we talked about like over 2 versus over 1, and we got a little bit extra because I didn't want to run out just in case. She gave me 2 of the flosses for my birthday, which was super sweet and unnecessary. So these are the Hibernation Day colors. I think she has a picture on Instagram. Oh, I'm just getting in front of the light again. So it's really asparagus. Let me pull the doubles, the duplicates out. Oh, this Merlot is gorgeous. It's like Falou red, but like gorgeouser. Is that a word? I made it up. It is a word now. So caramel, Merlot, chocolate ganache, classic brown. It's like a classic Leo and Roxy brown. Cinnamon. This is Legendary. I think that first came out in like one of their very first floss packs as like a white option, and then asparagus. So these are the main colors. And Caroline had hers there on her stand in like the bag room, the bag and floss kit room. And it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Her stitching is amazing. And she had like the bottom, she had, I don't know, she was like starting on the trees. She had like 1 tree done and all these words in. So, and I think she had started the house. She had moved up to the house to try and like get the colors right before so that she could get the conversion out. So she said that she's gonna have these ready soon. So I was like her trial run to get them kitted up. So thank you, Caroline, for taking the time to do that. It made me feel so special that you had the time to do that for me when I knew you weren't ready. I felt bad rushing you, but yeah, so this piece will have that special memory with it, and wow, now I'm stuttering because I'm so excited. I don't know, it might be like greige. We'll have to see. I feel like, so I'm in a monthly club for linen. Leo and Roxy is always coming out with great linen, and so I tend to kit my flosses and then not really commit to linen until I'm like ready to cut and stitch it. None of my pieces are serged, as is the typical Leo and Roxy way, which is understandable. They just didn't have time to do that while I was there. But hey, guess what? I have a serger because my mom is awesome and she likes to hand down her old sewing equipment. So I'm gonna serge these bad boys up right all by my lonesome. It doesn't bother me much. If they didn't come serged, I like to cut it to the size of my project after doing the math like 5 times to make sure I don't make it too small. And then I serge it myself because because I stitch in hand, I like to have just as much cloth as I need. And also then I feel like I kind of have, if I don't necessarily get the project done super fast, like I don't have like a bunch of linen that I'm not using, like hanging out, not able to be used because it's on another project. I don't know, that's what makes sense to me in my head. Let me just make sure that's all. I think that was all of my Leo and Roxy. It was all my Leo and Roxy things. So that was a lot. But it was, like I said, it was amazing. So I did mention that I went to, sorry about the wrestling, I went to Stitch It Central. I got some things. I don't know, it was fine. It was good. It was great. But it wasn't, well, one, it wasn't Evertotes. But I have in my head of what a cross stitch shop should be, like from watching FlossTube and like watching like the Keepsakes and the Country Samplers and like the Dying to Stitches of the world. And it wasn't that. Which is fine, because I found great stuff. They didn't have a ton of linen. The 40 count's hard to come by. Like, I get it. So, it was good. Is it worth the 4.5 hour drive? Only if I'm going to Caroline's. So, I got myself, these are in Canadian prices, so they're going to be a little more than you would find them in the States. But, I don't know if the math works out that they were a little bit more too. I didn't do the exchange rate, but these are like the only time I don't stitch with these is with the Mill Hills I've been using the needles in the kit. Otherwise, Sullivan's all the way, because when I sew in hand, especially because I learned, that's how I learned on linen. Like, I should pull down, it's right here, the picture that I learned on. It's insane. The pattern that I learned on. I use the little ball to kind of not grab, but kind of like pull up or like stand out like each thread as I go across, and that really helps me not miss anything. And so I just never gone back because I love my Sullivans, and so I just keep buying. Like, I'm like, oh, every time I go I just buy one or two. I mostly use 28s. I don't mind 26s. I have a few 24s because, you know, every once in a while I have a project where I need to stitch with more thread. And then I got a few patterns. Oh my gosh, I saw this and I was like, oh my god, I didn't buy Hibernation Day, did I? It just looks really similar. The packages, well, it's upside down. They just looked really similar for a second and I panicked. Okay, so I got, starting to think about Stitch North, right? So I got a three pack of Heartstrings Samplery Smalls. So this is the Festive Little Fobs Christmas. Thought those were fun, those kind of small little things to make with whatever. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I haven't opened the pattern yet, but they're cute. So these, I think the colors that I have kitted from that the other kit of DMC, or even the ones that I have from Leo and Roxy will work great for these. And she has, now that I'm looking at it, because I just looked at the picture and was like, oh, I like these, and didn't really go any further. Typical Geraldine. She even has like the trims and stuff that were used specifically on the samples. Is it a sample? Maybe it's just a sample. I'm overthinking it. Totally overthinking it. Okay, Festive Little Fobs Winter. Look at those penguins. The snowflake, like Scandi looking snowflake. The Ice Skate Cocoa. What is that? Oh, mittens. I don't know what this one is back here. I'll have to do a little bit more investigating. It's kind of covered up. It almost, I don't think it's what it is, but it almost looks like a turkey. Is that like a turkey or a pie? I don't know. I'll have to look closer at that one. A snow globe. So yeah, I thought those were cute. Stitch Northworthy Smalls, maybe. I don't know. And then this one is the Stitching Edition, and I think this one is probably more likely to be something that might end up as a small for a retreat or something. So it looks like she's got some little berries with like tomatoes and a cross stitch hoop, strawberry, a bird with some scissors. Actually looks like one of those birds that like you hold, the bird scissor holder thing, because look, the scissors are like going through his head, which is a little bit creepy unless you've seen those cute little scissor stitcher holders and you get it. And then some scissor ones. So those are cute. They're pretty simple. So I don't have a ton of little things, and so I thought it would be smart to get some little things. And then because I can't stop looking at Christmas, hands-on design. I love this Christmas. I especially love like the almost like purpley red and the berries with like that lighter red. This looks like it's on rustic linen. I'll have to find something similar that isn't rustic because I really didn't love that. So yeah, those are super cute. I love the colors. And that was, I think I said hands-on design. And then Primrose Cottage's Christmas barn. I don't even know why, like, I think it was the colors, and it's cute, and it's like, I don't know, the holly and the birds. I'm a sucker for some cardinals, so I liked the finish. So yeah, so those are the patterns that I got. Oh, I should get it. So this is Moonlight, Modern Folk Embroidery. It was like the Hygge exclusive. I don't know if it was an exclusive at the time. Moonlight. Oh no. Now I lost it. It's amazing. It was super hard. So this is my very first linen. I started this in the winter last year. And it's dark. Like, it's dark linen. It's 28 count. I thought I'd be okay. I struggled. But I learned a ton. I learned to stitch on this, and it was 100% a trial by fire experience, and I feel like I gained a lot of ground in my experience stitching this. I stitched that darn moon, the yellow part of it, like 3 times to get it to mate. I couldn't get it to match. I couldn't get it to look to be how it was supposed to be. I couldn't figure out where I was making the mistake. I got it right. I started stitching the blue and I went, wait a second. And then I looked at the pattern and realized that it was supposed to be the white, not the yellow. So it's like a harvest moon in the middle of winter, and it's fine, and I wasn't going to pull it out and stitch it 3 more times. So it is what it is, but I was super, super proud of myself when I finished this. It was it was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the vine. I love doing the vines. I'm getting better. I'm still not there. Like, don't look too close at the white. Like, I don't love how, I now understand why you have to be really careful, especially with white and like your threads being twisted, because it's really easy to see the white not laying right. I struggled in here a little bit, like it's a little bit wonky, right, with like this, like trying to like traveling, you know, diagonally to get all of these blue stitches in, and how the linen kind of pulls and lays, especially stitching in hand. But Moonshine Cabin, that's what it is. Moonshine Cabin. I knew it would come to me. Modern Folk Embroidery, stitched with Leo and Roxy floss. This was like my very first shipment from Caroline, and it came as a kit with a bag and accessory pouch that I'm currently using for something else, because it went like right back into the stash. They're super cute, like little like winter scene, like Scandi looking houses. And there was a needle minder in that one with it too. So yeah, I love this one. I could look at it forever. I did my very first frame. I don't even remember how I finished it. I don't think I laced it. So this one might, you know, need some love once I have a little more experience. I might reframe it. I don't think I did anything with it that would keep me from being able to, I'm not going to be able to hang that straight. I'll fix it later. Reframe it once I know what I'm doing. So that was a tangent, but okay. And then like I bought the train was already down the track for some of this stuff before I went to Evertotes and like blew my budget for the next 3 months. I told Hannah when she was checking me out that she needed to freeze my account and like not let me buy anything for 3 months, and she just kind of chuckled at me and was like, yeah, right, like that's not good business practice, and you would probably be mad at me. That's probably what she was thinking. So earlier this week I ordered, because I've been loving the Mill Hills, and I was like, what other like Mill Hill type things are out there? Boom! Satsuma Street. So cute, right? Super simple, small, comes with a floss, a needle, and comes with like the twine to hang, and you can't see them because they're like way down in there. Oh, there's the beads and some sequins. I don't know how I feel about the sequins. Maybe they'll make sense in the pattern. I don't know, we'll see. But even without the beads and the sequins, the patterns are cute. But in true, like we talked about last time, like in true FOMO style, right? Like you can't just pick the one I like the best, which was the one I liked the best? It was a hard choice, really, honestly. I think this one was the one I liked the best. Tree Topper is what it's called, but he's like a Nomi Santa dude. Christmas tree on his head. So cute. Boo to all this white stitching, but it's gonna be just fine because he's adorable. So of course, you know, like, well, I like this one, but like I like this one, and I like this one. He's so cute. Look at him. I think it's like the pinks and greens. Like I don't get that at my house. Our Christmas colors are like dark red, light, like greeny, like olive. I'm not describing it right. Olivey green and like different shades of gold. So I don't get this in my house, and so like as like my general like Christmas decorating, which is fine, but I just This is like just more modern than I would want in my house. But I just love the colors, so I get them in these instead. The partridge pear, so cute. So cute. And then for my daughter, I had to get the mitten kitten because I had 2 stocking patterns in my cart with these. And I started looking for linen for them, or Ada, or whatever the called for was. And I was like, dude, like when? When are you going to have time? Those PDF charts will be there. And they might come out with other ones that you like better. Because I really liked my daughter likes nutcrackers. And so the nutcracker one I really, really wanted for her. And I was like, well, then I need one for me. And I need one for my husband. And I'm like, no, friend. Like, you have time. And when you're ready, like, then you can pick the one that you like the best. Anyway, so I held back and instead just bought 5 of these instead. Because why not? So I have those to put, like, now, like, I feel like I need to, like, reorganize my sewing room because I don't have room for all the things. But with it, I didn't, like, make the connection, but Satsuma Street is doing the Jingle Ball. So I already have my ticket, but look at this cute card. So it was fun to get this cute little card in there. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to do something with this card. I'm going to save it and do something. I save a lot of, like, cardboard inserts and fun things that come in different packages, especially stitching ones. And I used my little, I have it right here. I used my little punch to make a floss card, and then I punch the holes in it, and I have my own floss rings, floss cards for the floss that doesn't come on a card. So that's super cute. I'm excited. I have a ticket. They're only $10. I'm gonna go for sure, at least go to all the booths. But we have stuff going on that weekend, and so I didn't get into the classes fast enough, but I wouldn't have had time anyways. And I looked at the second round of classes when they were still available, but nothing worked out with what we had going on that weekend. So I'll just participate when I can outside of normal, like out of like the main program hours. Okay, so then my local needlework yarn shop, they get the monthly Emma's Yarns. And so I went there yesterday very quickly. I promised my daughter very quickly to grab November's color, which is so pretty. It's like this yellow, it looks like this like yellowy butterscotch color, but there's lots of different, look at that. There's lots of different like colors blended in. So mostly socks is what I like to use. This is a sock yarn weight. So I like knitting up some socks every once in a while. When I say that, I've made like 2 pair, and I have one in process. But I love these like limited edition, like monthly colors. So I skipped October. I didn't love October's. Trying to be a little bit more selective because I have so many now. But I saw the November one and I had to have it. And so I went there, right, just to like literally like to the counter, grab my yarn. And the lady, she's checking me out. I like, give her my card, right? And we're talking. I'm like, hey, like, the last time I was here, someone else told me that you're having an Atomic Ranch Fabrics trunk show. When does that start? Because they're starting their anniversary sale or whatever it is. It starts tomorrow. So I figured it was probably like starting then, right? And I was too early. She's like, oh, have you been back there? It's back there now. My daughter's like, Mom, you promised. I'm like, we're just gonna go really quick. Because I had something in my head. And I couldn't have it at Evertote because she only had 28 count, and I will not stitch what I want to stitch on with 2 threads. Like I needed a smaller count, because not only because of the 2 threads, but because of what I have, the idea of what I have in my head and like where it will need to go. It needs to be as small as possible. So I have to show you what I got. Sorry for the rustling. I don't want to sneak peek it. Okay, I'm going to show you the other ones first, and then we'll get back to that. So they had Ada, not in 20, but in 18s. They had these colors in the linen too, but the Ada was quite a bit less expensive, I should say. It was less expensive for the same size. And the colors I liked a little bit better for these particular colors on the Ada They're a little bit darker, so they'll be easier to stitch on the Aida, and this isn't like Aida from Joann's, like this is like really nice soft Aida. So I got these 2 colors. This is, and they're pretty close to real. Into the Woods and Eucalyptus. These colors, this one especially, reminds me of the colors for the Cottage Garden Samplings color, like one of the sets for like the Year in the Woods colors, the 4. But it's got like some like more like that ice dye modeling with like a yellow undertone. And then the Eucalyptus is like, there we go, this teal color. So I had them both out and I couldn't choose, and we were in a hurry, and they were cheap, less expensive than I'm used to paying for linen. And so I grabbed them. They're 17 by 27s. They'll be great for something. They're 18 count, so they're not huge. I can technically do 1/1 or over 2 depending on the coverage I'm looking for. So I'm excited to have those in my stash. My daughter like got in the car with me, and she's got like the bag in her lap, and we're like going to do the next thing. We stop at a stoplight. I'm like, show me that fabric. And she's like, no. I'm like, no, really? Can I just want to see it one more time. And she's like, no, I'm putting it in the back seat. So I was super excited. Needless to say, I was super excited. So they had this color that I thought was gorgeous. It's called Tombstone. This is in a 40 count. It's getting a little washed out. It's like butterscotchy mustard color. Mustard more than butterscotch. Butterscotch would be a little bit oranger. Like this is like a true, like to me, like a mustard. Similar to something that like the Witch would be stitched on maybe. I have fabric for that, but I liked it. I'm sure I can find something. It's the Jane Eyre piece would have been really great on here too, because it looks like that. It's got that like old feel to it. Okay, the piece de resistance, the color that I was looking for, very similar to the cherry cobbler color at Leo and Roxy linen at Evertote, is this copper penny. I think they had it in 40. There we go. But the 40, it wasn't as saturated. I don't know, it just wasn't the same color. It was a little lighter. So I ended up getting the 36. Okay, so this is it, right? So I can't find it again. I saw it once. I swear it was on Jacob's website, and now I can't find it. But Modern Folk Embroidery, Here Be Dragons, that piece. I want to do this piece, and I want to stitch the negative. So the dragon would be, I'll have a link. The dragon would be red, and then this would be, like I would stitch the background in black and probably use charcoal over chalkboard. Yeah, I think charcoal. Anyways, and I want it, so, you know, Jacob was talking about on his FlossTube how it was always like in the illuminated manuscripts on the maps, like it would be like at the outskirts, like where, like the uncharted dangerous territory. They'd put the dragons and the lions and say, here be dragons. And so I want to hang it by our, like the door we go out all the time. That's like where the vision that I have in my head. So it's like, okay, like we're going out into the world, here be dragons, but like we're gonna suit up and we're ready for it. So I saw he mocked up, someone mocked up, I think Jacob mocked up where it was like the reddish color in the back with the black floss, and I was like, I have to have it. That's the version that I need. So I've been looking for that color. So I found it, and I'm super excited. It's gorgeous. So that's another one that's like, I need to start it. It's just amazing to me. Like you see a pattern and you're like, I love it. And then you like see pictures of people stitching it and you're like, no, I really love it. Like, I don't know what it is. Like the pictures just like like the pictures on the patterns just genuinely like don't do it justice at all. I'm gonna call it Christmas cat because I don't remember how to pronounce it or exactly say it. The Icelandic Christmas cat. Someone that I follow on Instagram is stitching it. That border, like the circle medallion border, it's to die for. It's so pretty. I just don't have the time to stitch all the things. That one is big, so maybe someday, but so many good things. So that's everything that I have to show you. And plans. So I think this week might be fairly busy. My goal is to finish the Noel piece, probably not FFO it, but I wouldn't be surprised if I get like a bug to do it at some point by the end of next weekend maybe. And then to work on Christmas Eve, get that cloak fixed and get moving on that. Life will be a little bit busy this week. I don't think I'll probably stitch it all on Tuesday. I am taking a vacation day from my real job to work at the election. So a city near me needs, they're called election inspectors in Michigan, but they're like the poll workers, but you can't call us poll workers. So this will be the second time that I've done that. I did that for the last presidential election in 2020, and I kept saying that I was a poll worker to my friends because it was funny. So like we do the things like making sure that people, like we check them in, make sure that they're registered, that they're at the right precinct to vote, help them through the process, and just really like run the election for the precinct. It's really great. I'm a busy wife and mom, and I have a full-time job, so I feel like it's my really tiny, small way that I can make a difference, and make sure that there's people, like there's the availability for people to vote. I would hate for them to have to merge or close a precinct because there's not enough people to run it. So it's my small part to make sure that people have places to go and do their democratic duty. So that will be happening on Tuesday, and then just work for the rest of the week, stitching in the evenings when I can, all those things. So thanks. This was like a super, I just shot a FlossTube. I don't have a lot to talk about. An hour and a half later, here we all are. So thanks for hanging with me if you did. Thanks for liking, and those of you that subscribed. I think I last looked, I maybe had 11 followers. I know it's a little slow going. That's okay. Thank you for those that are hanging with me. If you feel the urge to share, please shout me out, share, so that more people can see the things. But I just really appreciate you taking the time to watch and have your comments below, and be a part of this community is really what I'm excited about, is being a part of the community. And I feel like I watch a lot. I find more and more people that I watch and enjoy checking in with as I stitch. It's almost like a little mini retreat in my house. And so I have been taking that all in for a year now, and I just felt like it was time for me to give back. And so here I am. I love to connect with all of you. Leave me a comment. Find me on Instagram. I'll put some information below this time. Last time I really struggled. So I started filming, and I showed my first piece, and it was backwards, and I was like, crap, is it like backwards because it's gonna be backwards, or is it backwards because it's like mirror imaging me? Like, I don't want to shoot this whole FlossTube and then find out everything's backwards and have to shoot it again. So I stopped and then restarted once I confirmed that no, it wasn't gonna be backwards for you at the end. And then I couldn't find software on my Chromebook. I know I probably shouldn't be filming on my Chromebook, to like splice it all together that would actually upload it to YouTube. And so I spent a really long time that night getting everything figured out. It finally uploaded late in the night once I figured it out. So I will try to be better about like putting information in the description box and all those things this time. Crossing my fingers that all the editing and uploading goes well. I think I need to make a new intro screen because I was silly and I put FlossTube #1 on the first one. So now I gotta make a new one. So I'll probably make one that I can use for everything and just do the FlossTube numbers in the title. The things you learn as you go, right? But I knew I wanted to give myself grace. Please give me grace as I'm learning. Because if I like had all of the things and all the ducks in the row and my videos looked like people who have been YouTubing for a really long time, like I'd never get there, I'd never start because I'd never have what I needed or know what I needed. And so here I am making it work week by week, and I hope that you will decide to continue to join me. So I hope that you have a wonderful week, and that everyone is well.